It's like love at first sight. From there on, our love grew for each other. And we start to, correspond and these sort of thing. And it goes from there. We always had great times with each other. It wasn't going to the beach or on dates or even a simple phone call. We always enjoy each other company. That's what I love about him. He's so loving. He's so caring. He's such a good person. I couldn't ask for anything better. He was one out of a million. I know that. I see that. Oh my, I just can't believe he left. It's so heartbroken, when I learned of his death. It's like a part of me left with him. I was devastated by his passing. Still, I cannot get the grip that he's really gone. Still, I just can't believe he's gone. I can recall when I learned of his death and I went by the house and I saw his car park up under the tree. It's like myself, is he really gone indeed? It's like, no. His car is there, but he's nowhere to be found. That was hard. I broke down right there and then. I just broke down. Still, I just can't believe he's gone. I will miss him. I will truly miss him. His love will live in my heart. I don't know how I will be able to go through the rest of the days without him, but there is God who there I see and knows everything. I have faith and trust in him that he will see me through this time of grief. My beloved Maya, I will cherish all our memories we share with each other, and your love will live within my heart. I love you, Maya. From your Empress, Karen.
It is with profound sadness that the Reverend Melvin and Mrs. Yvonne Michael announced the passing of their third son, Mayan Gavin Michael, who died at his home in Sweets on Tuesday, the 4th of May, 2021. He was the grandson of the late David Michael and Isola George, and the late Mr. and Mrs. Enoch and Idona James. Left to mourn are his brothers Melville and John Michael, his sister Josie Ann Michael, his sister-in-laws Itasha and Sherla Michael, his nieces Jamelisa, Abigail, Deja, Jalisha and Hadassah Michael, and his nephews Elijah and Ethan Michael. Also left to mourn are his uncles Dave, George, Ronald, Calvin, Dale and Ira Michael and their families, Everton Jacobs and the late Arthur Tanner and their family, Fillmore, Ruel, Clemroy and the late Gregson James and their families, Dorian Carty and his family, his aunties Hyacinth Warren and her family, Brenda James and family, Nova Thomas and family, Pamela George and family, Claudette Howard and family, Maudlin Brown and family, Vanessa Mack and family, Cordella Robbins and family, his partner Karen Waldron and family. He was related to the children of the late Sarah Hope, Beryl Joseph, Irene, Norris and Eldridge Andrew, the family of the late Basil Lewis and St Martin, Ellen St Romain and family, and the late Margaret Galloway, Carmelita Jacobs and their families in St Kitts, Nevis and the Virgin Islands, Helen Michael and family of Sweets, Idris Michael and family in England, the family of the late Melrose Roberts, Sheila Moraine, Tyre Master and family, Marcel Thomas and family, Eloise Simpson and family in the US. He was also related to the Carty family of John Hughes and Trinidad, and the Georges and Charles of Seatons and Glanvilles, the Hanleys and Lewis families of All Saints, the Jeremiahs of Buckley, the Warners of Liberta, and the Greens of Sweets and Liberta. He will also be missed by the brethren from the Baker Shop block, the Wilson family of Sweets, Arlene Challenger of Atlanta, Georgia, family and friends to include Emmett and Madge Fleming and family, the family of the late Georgiana Watkins, Mrs. Miriam Samuel and Bishop Martin and Lenore Nelson in the US, the pastor and members of the Sweets Wesleyan Holiness Congregation and the Wesleyan community, his co-workers at the Ministry of Works as well as the Sweets football community. Mayan will be remembered by his many friends who were dear to him but too numerous to mention. The family wishes to express thanks to all those who called, prayed and lent their support in this their time of bereavement. Your support and words of comfort are deeply appreciated. The funeral arrangements will be given subsequently. May the soul of Mayan Gavin Michael, aka Gangster, rest in eternal peace. It is with profound sadness that the Reverend Melvin and Mrs. Yvonne Michael announced the passing of their third son, Mayan Gavin Michael, who died at his home in Sweets on Tuesday, the 4th of May, 2021. He was the grandson of the late David Michael and Isola George, and the late Mr. and Mrs. Enoch and Idona James. Left to mourn are his brothers Melville and John Michael, his sister Josie Ann Michael, his sister-in-laws Itasha and Sherla Michael, his nieces Jamelisa, Abigail, Deja, Jalisha and Hadassah Michael, and his nephews Elijah and Ethan Michael. Also left to mourn are his uncles Dave, George, Ronald, Calvin, Dale and Ira Michael and their families, Everton Jacobs and the late Arthur Tanner and their family, Fillmore, Ruel, Clemroy and the late Gregson James and their families, Dorian Carty and his family, his aunties Hyacinth Warren and her family, Brenda James and family, Nova Thomas and family, Pamela George and family, Claudette Howard and family, Maudlin Brown and family, Vanessa Mack and family. It is with profound sadness that the Reverend Melvin and Mrs. Yvonne Michael It is with profound sadness that the Reverend Melvin and Mrs. Yvonne Michael announced the passing of their third
Once again, my condolences goes out to the Michael family who lost one of their beloved son of the good soil. Mayan was a God-fearing person who believed God is in the midst of everything. With the faith he had towards God, he showed a courageous face through every
So here we are, living in the dystopian future we have all dreamed about. If we don't start acting like this is happening, then we are going to go from Orwell's 1984 to George Miller's Mad Max very quick. The allegiance already exists. The gangs already exist. The living conditions of the earth are getting worse. COVID was one thing, but many people have and are volunteering for the experiment. I've never seen anything like it before. I mean, we have a whole new problem on our hands, really. More information on that is up on the website at woodwardentertainment.com. But as you very well know, when it rains, it pours. And now we are beginning to witness the food revolution. The issue with our food supply is getting worse, fast. There may be a few solutions to this for you and I. However, we have a long road ahead of us, and it is likely that this issue will not be reversed anytime soon. And I have a hunch that there is some force causing this, and it is human. So we are going to take a closer look at our food supply, try to come to a better understanding of the logistics, discuss the near future. It's vital information. If you don't want your body to starve later, start feeding your mind now. So, we are beginning to see the storm of inflation make its way to shore. Prices on food items are going up big time, and they will probably continue to go up. For how long, that I'm not sure. It is going to depend on some factors that are really out of our control, such as the weather, which has ultimate control over any farmer. Farmers around the world understand the weather. They understand that in just one day, everything could be gone. Now, this is part of the problem. Logistics is another. Products are not being moved. Factories have been shut down. Plants have been shut down. Something has happened to our distribution system. Not only that, and this may be the result of several things, but products are really starting to disappear off of the shelves. And I know that you've noticed that yourself. Let me ask you guys a question. You walk into your local supermarket these days, have you noticed that you are starting to see more store brand products wrapped nicely? Those name brand products are fading off the shelf for some strange reason because of the amount of control they have over the general food supply. Oscar Mayer is gone. That happened just the other day. What's happening? I'm not really talking about what companies are doing with their brands or anything corporate as of now. I want to focus on what is actually happening to the food itself. This comes from beefmagazine.com. Higher corn prices mean higher cattle finishing costs. Corn price futures for the July 2021 contract increased from $4.68 per bushel in early January to $6.56 for the week ending April 30th. That is a $1.88 increase in 4 months. Now, first thing, if you are still eating corn in 2021, I don't even know if there's even any real corn left anywhere. But they use it to make oils, sweeteners, cattle feed. I mean, cows are supposed to eat grass, not corn. But I know why they feed them the corn. Anyway, corn goes up, cattle feed goes up, commercial beef and dairy products go up, all of them. Summary and conclusions. Corn prices have increased steadily so far this year and are expected to be quite volatile for the rest of the year. This article examines higher corn prices on feeding cost of gain for cattle finishing. Using projected corn prices, feeding cost of gain is expected to peak in the third quarter at approximately $103.50. However, each 10-cent increase in corn price results in an increase in feeding cost of gain of 88 cents if per CWT. If corn prices are $1 higher than projected prices, which is certainly possible in today's environment, feeding cost of gain would be approximately $111 in the third quarter of 2021. Now that's just one section of the grocery store. What about the bakery? What's going on with grains like wheat and rice? A bushel of wheat last year was around $5.50 on average. This year it's around $6.60 on average so far. Rice prices went up as well. Wheat prices went up partly due to the corn prices going up. Are you beginning to see the domino effect working here? Soy. What about soy? Soybean prices post highest finish in over 8 years. Despite the expected increase, the report confirms the very tight ending inventories for soybeans through next year, said Sal DeBerte, President and Chief Investment Officer at Teucrium Trading. Soybean ending inventories are too small for comfort, and the USDA confirmed that the situation will not change even with this season's new crop. On Wednesday, July soybeans rose 27 cents, or 1.7%, to settle at $16.42 a bushel in Chicago, with prices based on the most active contract ending at their highest since September 19, 2012, according to Dow Jones market data. Look, despite what many people may think, it's all part of the plan. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, you know. Come to think of it, I want to give you an example where life for us on this planet is headed. All your worst nightmares come true. They definitely don't want you eating meat because you will be considerably weaker without it. But Jay, not eating meat is good for you. Yeah, maybe I'm Planet Pussy, but you go ahead and go along with that. You don't get it, do you? They don't want you to eat meat. They don't even want you to eat veggies. Did you know this? So you're thinking, oh, no meat, no veggies. What's left? Bugs. Bugs is what's left. Bugs and insects, buddy. Bon appetit. But how? I tell you how. Because you're going to walk into a restaurant. The beef burger is going to be $60. The plant-based burger is going to be $40. And the burger with the bug patty is $5. That's how. People don't care about what you give them. As long as you say it's good, they're good to go. Believe me, as long as that patty tastes and looks like a burger, they will eat it. People eat bugs all the time, and they're perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with them. You're going to be hearing that voice a lot more now because the number of people like this is growing. It reminds me of something Dr. Stella Immanuel said in an interview once. Something like, people are definitely against taking the mark of the beast. You hear it all the time. Yet you have so many people who have taken something that could be used to program them to believe that God is Satan and Satan is God. Go to woodwardentertainment.com and watch The Experiment, Episode 1. There will be more of those coming, but go and watch that presentation. Okay. And there, look at the date. Look at the date of this report. Now tell me I made this up. EU approves of mealworms for human consumption. just in case you think you are reading that wrong. Officials suggest it could be used as a protein boost for cookies, pasta, or baked goods. Yummy. As they try to reassure fussy eaters. You freaking fussy eaters. You're so picky. How dare you not want to eat bugs? That millions of people around the world already eat insects. They already eat them, so you should eat them too. It's also a more environmentally friendly and that's good, right? So what are you waiting for? Alternative to rearing cattle and other larger sources of protein, it's the best. The market for edible insects is set to reach $4.6 billion by 2027, according to one report earlier this year. It is up to consumers to decide whether they want to eat insects or not. We don't give a crap, the EU said on its webpage. The use of insects as an alternate source of protein is not new, so stop getting your panties all in a bunch. The EU, huh? Oh, thank God we have the FDA. Yeah, and you've seen what they've been approving. Speaking of which, they don't give a clear answer as to the regulations on edible insects and critters in the U.S. They consider them filth, like most of us.